All right, Jaylee, thank you so much for letting me interview you.
Of
Um,
course.
can you first just state your name, your major, any applicable minors, your pre-professional track, as well as the school you attend?
Oh God, okay, so my name is Jessica Lee. I'm a sports management major at NYU, and I haven't declared a minor yet, but I'm thinking about Korean. And then within my sports management major, I'm concentrating in sports media. And what were the other questions? Was that it?
Oh, what's your pre-professional track, like after you graduate?
I'm not really like I guess on a pre-professional like because my major itself is already like very specific. So they're like, oh, you don't need to be like on a specific track or anything. And my major is usually for grad majors. And so I just decided to pursue it early as an undergrad, which a lot of schools have been offering as undergrad majors now. I not I guess on a track, but yeah.
All right, cool. Thank you so much. So, what made you want to go and major in sports management?
So I originally wanted to become a doctor, which is like way off from what I'm doing now, obviously. But I guess my whole thing was like I've been doing sports all my life and it's been so present in my life, like literally since I've been born. And so I was like going from like wanting to become a doctor into like, oh, maybe I can do like sports medicine. But then I realized like just like the medical route is not for me because yeah, it's just not happening. And so I was like, oh, like I guess I'm just gonna go into business, right? Like any other basic major, I guess. But like I realized there's sports business, and so I was like, this is what I want to do. Like this is perfect for me. And so that's how I got into sports management.
That's really cool. What made you want to go to NYU then?
So my major, like I said before, is like it's not a big undergrad major yet, and very little schools have it offer it as an undergrad major. And so how I picked my school, like how I picked NYU was very like a really big part of it was just because of my major, because other schools that like I applied and got accepted to and I was like considering, it was just like a business major, or like it was like something like very, it wasn't specific to like what I really wanted to do. And so definitely major was like a big part of my decision. And another part of it is just location. Like when else am I going to be able to say like, oh, I'm living in New York City right now, I'm studying in New York City. And New York City is also like the center of so many big sports industries and sports teams, like professional sports teams. And so I was like, this is going to be so perfect for me, and it's going to offer so many opportunities that like I just couldn't pass it up. Like I had to go to NYU.
No, yeah, that sounds amazing. Like, NYU sounds great. I know you're an out-of-state student for NYU, so did you have any fears or concerns when traveling to a different state and deciding to live in a different state for college?
Um, Actually, I don't think I was as worried as I thought moving to New York. Like, if anything, I was just more excited. Just because like I've been living in Cali all my life, and like while I originally envisioned myself like staying in Cali, like when I did like finally committed myself to like going to NYU, I was really excited to be moving to a big city. And I think the one thing that like kind of worried me, I guess, or like it wasn't really, yeah, I guess worried me was like I would be leaving behind so many like people that I had gotten so close with. I grew up with like I've known these people for like 10 plus years, but like I'm literally going by myself, and I would be starting off like new, like in New York by myself. And I think that's kind of scary, not gonna lie. And it's just like, but I think it's definitely like a fresh start that I really wanted and needed.
Yeah, so you mentioned how it was a little bit like scary, like to a new environment and everything. How did you become more comfortable there?
So I I remember like the first month that I was there, I thought I was adjusting really well because like I wasn't feeling homesick. Like I was doing so well. I made like a lot of good friends, and so I was like, oh, like this whole like adjusting period, like I'm past it. But then like I remember October, November hit, and it was actually really difficult for me to like, I started getting really homesick. I was like feeling really down all of the time, and like New York's actually a really lonely city, like, and so that I started feeling that, and like seasonal depression is a thing in New York. But like honestly, like being able like I had like a really good friend group, and like being able to reach out to a lot of professors that I got close with, and my academic advisor, and I think being able to I being able to like spend that time alone also really helped me adjust, because like you have to learn to spend time alone, and like that's what I realized in New York, and I think it's really important for self growth. So like um I think I'm digressing a little, but like basically like it's hard in the beginning, and definitely like I had to get used to like the speed and the vibe that's so different from LA. But like the people that I surrounded myself with helped a lot, and like um and I think being able to I definitely called back home a lot to like friends and family, and that helped a lot as well.
All right, thank you so much for sharing a little bit of advice about that. Now we're going to transition more about like NYU. So at the moment, how do you like NYU? And when you answer this, you can talk about like your classes, your dorm life, how are like how is NYU like the campus itself like, in the big city? Like, is it a good like campus feeling? Is it very like a lot of campus spirit? Just whatever you feel like talking about.
Um so in general, I think so NYU doesn't really like have like a campus. Like we're literally like when you're walking through NYU campus, it's just on the streets of New York. So you really can't tell what is what unless you see like a bright purple flag coming out of a building. And so I think that's really unique about NYU itself. And I honestly love it so much, just because like it really makes me feel like I'm not confined, like I'm out experiencing the world while going to school. And so that's a big part of NYU that I like. Dorm life is not bad, although I had a couple problems during freshman year, but it's okay. Dorm life was not bad. I got to room with one of my best friends during sophomore year. That was really fun. For my classes, honestly, my classes are a lot smaller than I thought. Like obviously there's like the I didn't take it, but I heard intro to bio at NYU is like 200, 300 people. That's like that. But like all of my major classes, all of like my other like core classes, like GE classes that I had to take, they were actually really small, which I liked, because I don't really do well with like teachers who like don't know my name. Like I need that connection with professors. So that's something that I really enjoyed about NYU. And I guess um in terms of like athletics, it's not that big at NYU just because we're D3. um and that's kind of sad on my part just because my major is sports management, but it's honestly not bad. You like sports is still like present, but it's not as like obviously like D1, D2 like big. So if you're like a big sports person, NYU might not be the move for you. This is coming from a sports management major, but no, I think it's kind of hard to connect with like extracurriculars like clubs and like frats and sororities, just because, like I said, like we don't have like a closed campus, and like we're not, and so it's hard for people to realize like, oh, we have this like these type of clubs, these type of frats and sororities like at NYU, which is something I think we could definitely like NYU pushes to work on, because we do have like club week, like sorority, frat week, blah blah blah. But like it's just like obviously like since since we're not on a closed campus, it's not you can't see their presence as like um often, or like as like prominent as like a closed campus. What else about NYU? Yeah, that's about it, I guess. Like NYU, like in general, like I'm pretty satisfied with NYU life, I guess, student life.
That's good. That's good. No, yeah. You mentioned extracurriculars just now, and my next question is actually, what extracurriculars are you currently participating in?
Oh, okay. So I'm the manager for NYU men's volleyball team, like our official NYU men's like varsity D3 volleyball team. And so I'm just running their stats. I'm running their Instagram page. I go to every single practice, every single one of their games, including their away games. And then on top of that, I am planning to rush APO, which is a service frat, next or this upcoming semester, actually, if we're on campus. Um, and so that's about it for me. Like, honestly, like I don't think I've immersed myself in as many like extracurriculars as like other people, but also like given like my circumstance where like I'm in New York City, like I would rather spend my time like exploring the city than like being, I guess, stuck with like five different like clubs and like sororities and frats and stuff.
No, yeah, that makes sense. You mentioned earlier about a little bit about like when I asked you before the interview about your travels. Can you talk a little bit about your travels?
Like travels as in like around New York or
Or like outside of New York, get into like the travels you take like to like Japan, Korea, things like
oh, my bad. Okay, so
that.
I was like international travels or domestic. Okay, no. I have been fortunate enough to travel a lot, and to various parts of the world, including like Asia and Europe. I have been to, like, just to name a few, like Japan, Korea. I've been to like Italy. I've been to France. I've been to like a couple other places, but um, I I think being like if you have the chance to travel, like do it. Like if you like get those cheap plane tickets, like go literally anywhere, whether it be like literally just like up north to like Canada, like driving, or like down to Mexico, or like wherever it is. Like I think people should take the time to travel and like experience the world, because like learning about like culture and like learning about like other countries is one thing, but like being able to like put yourself like into like being able to experience that yourself, I think is like something completely different and something that people should experience just to help better understand like each other and like different people. And so yeah, I think a big part of what I want to do in the future, like including with my job, is to travel. And so yeah, I think one of my favorite places so far has been, like, obviously I'm Korean, so like Korea was like a big like thing for me. I went a couple years ago for the first time in like almost 10 years, and like that was like, I think I appreciate my heritage a lot more because of that. And other than that though, I think like another big one was going to Italy because of the food.
No, yeah, for sure. I completely agree with like the whole your whole traveling and like your love for it and everything. 'Cause I love it too. So now we're gonna transition a little bit more towards like your college application process. And I know it was a while ago, but personally, how did you feel about your college application process?
Oh God. So it was for me because I'm a sophomore right now, so it was for me, it was like 2, 3 years ago. But honestly, I remember feeling really stressed, like really, really stressed, which is like obviously the normal reaction for like college applications. But like I remember taking so much time to like figure out like where I want to apply, why I want to apply there. And like I just remember a lot of essay writing, like revise, revise, revise. And I remember like there was like a time where like I was feeling really down, if I'm being honest. Because like I wasn't getting into like the colleges. Like I didn't like expect to get into like a lot of colleges, but like it was also like there were also some colleges where I was like, oh, I thought I would make it, but I didn't. So like I felt my, I guess, like confidence and like self-esteem drop a lot because of that. But like I want to be able to say like I ended up like picking myself back up after that, like just because like at the end of it, like I realized like I have options. Like I have, it's not like I didn't get into college. So like I think I tried to see like the glass half full instead of half empty. But I do remember just like grinding a lot for my college applications, and like remember thinking like I just there was a lot of like time crunch as well for me because I procrastinated, which is something I also regret. But yeah, it was, I just remember it being like really stressful, really busy because it was also like during school. And but I think that's like all part of the process. Like it's just something that everyone has to go through. And it's like it's really it sucks, but like it is what it is.
No, yeah, that makes complete sense. Um, do you remember how long the entire process took for you? And that includes research as well as like college essay writing.
Oh wow. I remember I like really started I want to say like the summer before senior year, like right when I got out of school. Like that's all I did all summer. Like because by then I was done with my SATs. Like I decided not to take it anymore. And so that was my main focus for the entire summer. Um I did go to a college prep mentor, college mentor, who helped me a lot with the process. Um and so I went like on a weekly basis. I was doing my own research at home on a daily basis. So that lasted all through summer into the first half of senior year until that winter break, which was when all of my applications were due and I had sent them in.
Cool, cool. And did you reach out to any like friends who are currently attending universities for advice, or did you visit any of the colleges?
So I remember visiting a couple colleges during the whole entire application process. Not like any out of state. It was all kind of like within state. Like, some of the UCs I went. Or no, actually, I didn't visit UCs. I visited like I remember visiting Occidental, which I didn't really end up applying to, but I remember visiting like USC. I remember visiting like I visited a couple schools. Most of them private though. And then I remember reaching out. I didn't really know many like upperclassmen. So I don't think I reached out to many like students who had already graduated or in college. So I did a lot of it like by myself. um I did reach out to like a couple of friends who were like in the same grade as me to see like how they're doing their process, like what they're doing to like research and like apply, just so like maybe like I could pick up some of their like advice and tips and like what they're doing to help better my process as well. But yeah, that's about it. I didn't visit till I got accepted. And even then I only visited I think like four schools that I was considering.
All right, cool. And do you have any advice for students who are currently looking at NYU as a potential college?
Visit, visit. It's okay, so like if you're applying like internationally, like okay, that's gonna be a bit tough, but like if you're like domestic, like I highly encourage you to visit it because like just like hearing about NYU and like watching like videos or like reading about like other people's experience at NYU is completely different from like you going there and like walking around the streets of like where you would be going to like class and like looking at dorms. Like I think it's so important to go and see like if you fit well with New York City itself. Like don't go and visit like thinking like, oh, I'm just gonna be here for like NYU. Like actually go around the entire city, like and see as much as you can to see if you fit well with New York City because like I think that itself is like its own vibe and its own experience. And I also definitely recommend um looking at all the majors that NYU offers because there's so many and like I didn't even realize there were this many like majors and like obviously like, I'm really satisfied with mine. I wouldn't change like I have no plans of changing my major. But like I was like looking around and I was like, wow, this would be really cool to minor in or like wow, this would be really cool if I could double major in it. But like um so I think that's also one thing. And if you literally know anyone that already goes to NYU, definitely talk to them about it or like if anything just reach out to like any random person. Like I'm sure they would be happy to tell you like their own NYU experience because I think like hearing different people's experiences of like is really important just because when you look at NYU like we're so diverse, which is something we're really proud of. And so I think it's important to get a lot of different people's experiences as well.
All right, thank you for that little bit of advice. And finally, my last question is if you could give advice to current high school students, and that can be about the college application process or about college in general, what would it be?
Um, I would say, one, don't procrastinate because that's what I did. I ended up stressing myself out to no ends. Um, but please, 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 like, use this time, like, wisely. Like, high school, like, goes by so fast, and when I look back, like, I wish I had studied harder, like, I wish I had done more things, like, I wish I had taken the time to, like, um be more productive, I guess, during high school and, like, not, like, complain about it because like, this is literally the beginning. Like like, once you get to college, like, it's gonna be a whole new world, a whole new experience, and, like, I really wish I had taken the time in high school to, like, set myself up for that, I guess, and, like, prepare better for that. And another thing I wanna say is when you get to college, I hope people I hope, like, when you're meeting new people, like, to be open-minded, especially, like, during this day and age. Like, be open-minded and, like, don't be, like, an a-hole, like, basically, like, be nice, like, and be open-minded, and I hope that people know that you shouldn't be afraid to, like, leave groups of people who, like, aren't your crowd, like, or you don't vibe well with. I hope that you take the time to, like, find a good group of friends because that's so important during college, and I was really lucky to find them, like, literally my first week at NYU because, like, they're still with me now, and like, basically consider each other family, and, like, they're truly gonna be your lifelong friends, and so I hope that you take the time to meet, like, a good group of people that you can call your friends.
All right, cool. Thank you so much then for giving all this advice.